we say amazing things at funerals, and we do amazing things at funerals, but sometimes we don't do it in advance. And I think that that's something that's pretty powerful, and I love the concept.
I can't even put into words how grateful I am for everything that she did.
You know, every day is not a guarantee.
Just giving people their flowers while they're still here, I think that is great.
She knows her worth and her value, and she doesn't let anybody walk over that in any kind of way.
I have behaved myself. I have done everything I'm supposed to, and it's still not enough.
That's a way that I did help change the world for good.
Right now, you are the person that you thought you wanted to be in your obituary. Like, you're already that woman. Welcome to your funeral. This is Virginia Silky. I am here with my co-host, Beth Savage, and we are excited to introduce you to our next guest. Her name is Emily Moore. She is both sassy and serious, and we look forward to her episode. So join us as we meet Emily Moore.
I am, of course, Emily Moore, the one, the only
Yes.
Emily Moore. I have a long laundry list of random things that I have done that have led me to where I am in my part-time gigs, bartending, which is probably like the favorite hat that I've worn. If we didn't live in a country that, like, you know, didn't make us like work really ridiculously hard for like healthcare and like to just exist and afford food, I would probably just bartend. Like, so much fun to just be there and just make my favorite things and talk to people. But my professional hat that makes me money is as a policy analyst.
All right, Emily, here are the people who are at your funeral.
Well, my name is Jess. I've known Emily for quite some time. You know, where we're from back home is a small town. Everybody knows everybody. I knew of her. I knew, you know, at the time, Trey, they've been together for forever. Like, I just knew that they were, you know, they've been dating for forever and they still are. And she had known my cousin at the time. I mean, she still does. And then we started working together at a local bar, and we bartended for a little bit together, and we're hanging out. And then COVID happened, and then we just kind of relied on our friendship, and then we just became closer and closer. And then, like, fast forward to now, like, she's one of my best friends, and it kind of happened just so naturally. And we have like a beautiful friendship, and I love her endlessly.
My name is Emma. I actually love my story about how I met Emily. She moved in, her and Trey moved in to our building in September of 2019. The dates are important, obviously, to our origin story. So we didn't talk for really a while. Like, I think we would see each other in passing. And I remember she was working at the Water Dog, and she recognized me. And she said, "Hey, I think you're my neighbor." And I was like, "Oh yeah, hi, what's your name?" And so we met then. That was, I think, early January of 2020. And then we still just mostly, like, in passing said, "Hey, I think we kind of figured out we had some mutual friends," but we didn't really talk. And then, of course, COVID hit, and we all found ourselves spending a lot of time just sitting outside on the porch. I couldn't tell you the next time I talked to Emily after that, honestly. She might be able to remember. But next thing you knew, we were very close, and we got to know each other a lot over the course of, obviously, the COVID lockdown, and then just the following times of being neighbors for, like, I don't know, 2 more years after that, probably. I think they moved to Richmond last year.
My name is Sarah Pentecost. I have known Emily since 2006 because we met in middle school. So probably like the first day of middle school, because I think we were in the same homeroom. So it's been, I can't even do that math in my head, like 17 years, I think. Just kind of crazy to say out loud. Yeah. A little bit goofy, but like I would say, like Emily was like the cool girl in school. She was always like the cool girl.
I'm Hannah Hoyt. I have known Emily for about a year now. We met through a mutual friend here in Richmond that knew her from Lynchburg. So when Emily moved to Richmond, she already had a contact that was our mutual friend. We met at dinner with our friend and then have been hanging out since.
My name is Kristen Lennox. I have known Emily for a little over a year, maybe like a year and a half. And I met her through where we work, and we both work at Voices for Virginia's Children. I'm actually on the advocacy and engagement team. I'm the director of engagement over there. So, and then she's a policy analyst. So our work intertwines a lot, although different departments.
Hi, my name's Caroline. I've known Emily for, I guess, a year and a half or a year now, and that's Audrey. She's a big fan too. Emily is my neighbor, and we actually met online, oddly enough. We bonded over some
she's in the witness
problems
protection.
that we have been dealing with in our
Caroline, I'm very
personal
sorry, that's my
lives,
fault.
and
I will
then
fix that.
realized as we got talking that we lived down the hall from each other, which is just so
Caroline and I
crazy.
met on Reddit.
But I feel like that is the first time I knew that she was my people. Every time I talked to her, I learned something more amazing and interesting that I love about her.
My name is Trey Barnett. I have known Emily now for 11 years. Me and Emily met at Lynchburg College. Well, what is it? The University of Lynchburg now. It was Lynchburg College at the time. So Lynchburg College. We actually met. So I went to Nelson and she went to Amherst, and we've known of each other, through social media and stuff. But we've all had mutual friends. With Nelson and Amherst being so close. So I actually had a buddy of mine. He attended Lynchburg, and me and a couple of friends went up there to visit him, and we actually came across Emily and a couple of her friends. So that was actually the first time that we had met. So I would say it was October, I think maybe we went up there. And, instantly, like I said, we had flirted and stuff on social media. So it was kind of like, there she is. I don't really know how to act right now. I don't know what to say, so I'm gonna just play it cool. But we introduced to one another, and immediately it was just great from there.
He told me he saw my panties. I was sitting.
Sorry, what?
I was sitting.
He left that part
Yeah, that's
out.
an important part. I was
Yeah.
sitting on like a lofted bed, and I had like a dress on and my legs crossed, but like he was at an angle where he could just see up my dress, and he saw my panties.
And then it was the rest is
So,
history.
and then we were in love.
That is awesome.
Emily will tell you what panties those were for $50 a pop.
I
if you want
don't
to email her.
remember.
No, tell the people. You know what they were.
I've still got them.
You'll even send them
Totally,
to them.
totally. Yeah, the exact panties. Yeah, the exact panties. So tell us about that group of people.
That makes me so happy. Those are like my people. Like those are my people. When I think about like COVID has been so hard, right?
Yeah,
like we have been so physically disconnected from our people, and some of these folks that I have met since I've moved to Richmond, but many of them, as they shared to you, like are lifelong friends to me, and they mean the world to me. And to see them sit there and be like, how the heck did I meet this crazy girl? Like, what was she doing? It just brings me so much joy. I love that. I love it. These are my people.
They're really wonderful people. All right. So we've got another sort of, I think we asked maybe a little bit deeper into how you became friends or kind of when they knew you were their people.
Okay.
So this next part is going to kind of reflect that as well.
You mature as you get older and you change, and like you hear things about people and you see people and you get to know them and you're like, this person's amazing. Like, why weren't we friends before? And I think it just happened so naturally. And then when COVID happened and like working together, it just blossomed into something. And like now we live in two totally different states, but like we talk almost every day, whether it's like texting or Instagram or just the littlest things, like, and also we're those friends that like we'll send paragraphs and paragraphs, and like I kind of need a response, but then it'll be like a couple of days and neither one of us will respond, but like that person will respond and be like, oh, it's fine. We both work opposite schedules. She's during the day, like she's that day person, and then me, I bartend all night long. So I'm up really late, and like her being a former bartender, she totally understands it. And I think that's why our relationship is like the ebb and flow. Like she's my daytime, she'll respond during the day, and then I'll probably respond at like 1 a.m. when I'm off work.
She's a song, and I adore that. You know, there's no like it's just, you know, accept me for who I am, or, you know, chick rocks pretty much. It's and that's I can appreciate. I adore that. Most men probably would be intimidated by that, but and I'm not ashamed to say it. Like she's the leader. Like I know the social norm is for the man to take charge and, you know, always be the voice, but no, I think the woman needs to take charge and, you know, needs to be the lead, with the strong man behind her, you know. So and I've told plenty of people that, like, that's just how I feel, honestly. Like she's the leader. Like she's out here changing the world, you know, one step at a time, day by day, like even when she's not on the clock.
Yes, I noticed in your email that you know, your sign off I loved. Is it like radical self-care?
Yeah, Emily and I came up. Yeah, I'll add the context there. Emily and I came up with that together, because I forget what it was, but it was people treating your inbox, your email inbox, like texting, like it should be so quick, right? Because so many people's emails are on their phones now, and we had a chat where we were like, how does it make sense? It's email. I think both of us entering into our workspace with this energy of like, it's not going to be me. We're not going to be that person this time. We just weren't. And so, yeah, we actually came up with those scripts in our emails that say, and I think we're the only two that do it. But we did it really to hold ourselves accountable and one another accountable. And it says, you know, in pursuit of more work-life balance or more work-life integration, these things are combined. So in pursuit of more work-life integration, I'll be checking my email once in the morning, once in the afternoon. And so we try to hold ourselves to that. It's also about shifting the culture and having an email note like that says, hey, this is what I'm doing. We get messages from people being like, I appreciate that. Like, thank you for naming that.
I appreciate Kristen giving me credit for some of that, but it was like mostly Kristen.
Oh, well, that's not the way she remembers it.
Right. She remembers it as you.
That's right. Those are some of your people and how they think of you and how your friendship was created, which I think is lovely.
Yes.
Like, yeah. So I'm going to say this now, where I'm going to use this, which is one of the things that we ask people in this podcast. One of the points is, what's something you want Emily to know that you don't really tell her very often? And everyone we asked, get ready. Everyone we asked was like, and so
amazing.
It was amazing because they were like, what the hell kind of question is that? Because I tell her all the time. I mean, like Trey was like, no, we're really good at communicating that. And like a lot of your friends were like, no, we tell each other all the time. And I was like, well, maybe it's just us old people who are like not good at it, because they were, I mean, what they were saying was like, none of this is going to surprise Emily. Like, I want her to hear it. I want her to know it. But this is not the first or only time she'll ever hear this from me. And so I just thought that was so beautiful that you have that constantly in your life. Do you feel like that's true? Like,
I feel like that's so true. I have these like accountability buddies that are like, it's just spoken. Like, we've never said like, hey, when I fuck up, you tell me. And when you fuck up, I tell you. Like, it's just written into the code of like our friendships nowadays, right? Of like, hey, we are friends because we share the same values, not because, and like, even for like my longtime friends, like we've been through a lot of, like me and Jess explicitly have been through a lot of changes in our life together. And like over that time, I think the explicitness of it is like, you tell me what you think and I tell you what you think. And like, maybe we'll get upset, but like it's for the better for all of us. And I value that so much because like the last thing that I would want is to be gone and then be like, damn, I should have told Emily that like she was wildin'. Or I should have told Emily that like maybe she was a little too radical at work or like, you know, whatever. So for me, for them to deeply feel like I feel like I'm at that place with all of them where they're like, hey, I'm going to tell you if you're acting out. But like for them to feel that way too means so much to me. Because it's one thing to like for me to feel that way, but like not actually know what they're thinking. Yeah. But for them to really be like, no, like if I had something to tell Emily, she'd know.
You don't need two old women, like two random old women I don't know, asking me what I feel about Emily. Like I told her yesterday when I saw her. Yeah.
And so the funny thing is, you immediately went to like, if I'm messing up, they're going to tell me. But they were all talking about how much they tell you they love you too. So I love that it's such a balance too. But yeah, I mean, again, part of this podcast came from me not telling people those things and regretting it deeply and like deeply in my soul. And it was so refreshing and so amazing to hear that, like, maybe this generation's got it. Yeah. Like, maybe you guys are like really figuring it out. And I love that for you. And I love that us old folk are learning that.
Old folk.
Right. But we're learning that from you. And the fact that, you know, even though we were your teachers or professors, we're learning from your generation that it's okay to say these things out loud and you don't have to pretend and then say it at someone's funeral or write it in a secret letter. Like you can literally just walk, like Trey can just walk in and be like, hey, I love you and I value you and wow, you're working really hard today. Like, like it's not that it's no big deal, but that it's constant reinforcement and also constant like, well, maybe that wasn't the best plan.
But I so appreciate you also naming what I didn't just name of like, actually, they weren't talking about them not telling, like calling you out. Like they tell you they love you and like, what are you actually listening to? So like for me, that is such a deep reflection of like, am I listening to them when they tell me all these nice things? And am I listening to them when they tell me they love me? Or am I only listening to them when they criticize me? So like for me, that is a huge reflection point of you saying that, of me being like, yeah, they'd let me know in a heartbeat if like I was acting out. But it's like, all right, but those same people let you know in a heartbeat that they love you too. And like
you don't ever have to question
should mean more than them calling you in. Like I appreciate being called in, but like also these same people are very much willing to be like, you're doing your best. I love you so much. And
the
how
fact
valuable
that
is that?
It's amazing. And that, I mean, you took a part in creating those relationships too. So you were like, oh, I only deal with people who are like this. But the truth is, when we talk to people about your friendships, what they say is we were instantly friends. Right. And so you created that culture together as friends. It's not you sought out people who are already like that. You know, you all created that together. And that's really amazing, especially some of them that you haven't known a long time. Right. That you all were just like, cool, we're going to be completely open, completely honest with each other for positive and negative things. And so one of the things that people said about you a lot was that you were 100% authentic.
Yes.
And I appreciate that.
Use the word authentic so much.
That is like what I aim to be in my everyday life. So like that is like the most important thing to me.
Well then, bull's eye.
That's right.
Because
you're doing
God,
it. You're doing it. Yeah.
I almost hated that word as much as we already hate the word impactful. Like by the end of this, I was like, I get it. She's authentic. But really, I mean, like it. But it, again, I joke, but it really was like the common thread was like, Emily's just really authentic. She is who she is, and we love it.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh, man.
I think in your friendships, in the same way you bring out what's in these people to sort of communicate that love and care to each other. Because I think there are friends in our generation, for example, who never talk to each other like that until their funeral. And then they talk about, as Virginia says, like they talk about each other when it's too late instead of saying it directly to each other.
No, I mean, I see that in my mom and her generation. Like she's got the best friends in the world and it's not until they're dead that they start talking about what they meant to each other for 60 years.
Yeah.
It's like we know we love each other, but like we didn't have to say it.
Mm-hmm. But why not?
But
right?
like now we're sobbing at your funeral because we didn't tell you enough that we loved you.
Yeah.
But like, how great is it to have people in your life that are like, actually, you could catch this whole city on fire and I would still love you.
That's right.
You could catch the city on fire. I'd put the body in my trunk and then we'd drive
and
it
we
away.
would just drive away.
I would be your getaway car. Yeah, absolutely. So I think you got to give yourself some credit for that. That's all I'm saying is that you don't just find people who are naturally like this, right? Like you create this condition that you know is good for yourself and for other people. So I think it's lovely. And I think, with people who don't do it, it becomes such a trench or a rut they're in that it feels super awkward to start. Even if they hear something that's convincing to them or that they know, it's so hard. If you haven't for 10, 20 years said, I love you, you're fucking amazing.
Right, like,
if you haven't said that, it's impossible.
Yes,
to
we should
start,
all
or
be the
feels
people
impossible.
that are like, I love you, drive safe, watch for deer.
Yeah, text me when you get home.
That's it. Like,
That's my mama.
am
Look out for the deer.
Be careful, watch for deer, text me when you're home person. And if it's been more than 30 minutes and you have not texted me, I'm calling you. I'm texting you. Like, I am your mama bear friend.
So another way that Silky and I are different is she thought of all these really creative, interesting questions for people. And I was like, eek, these are scary and intimidating. And inevitably people were like, this is my favorite question to answer. So one of the questions that people had a lot to say about or generally have a lot to say about is what gift they would get for you if money and time were no object. So that is the section that we have coming up next.
Oh, stop.
We'll see what they say.
I would just pay for the wedding. Because, that's, very financially consuming and time consuming, I'm sure. So if someone was like, oh, I'm just going to cover all that, you just have to pick what you want. I feel like that would be.
I know. Somehow the front of that got cut off.
Gift. And Trey and Emily have just been together for so long, so it's been really awesome to finally see them, get engaged and like take that next step. So I feel like it's a long time coming, and I think if I could do something, it would probably just be like, pay for the wedding. They deserve to have a really nice celebratory event. Actually, I'm booking Rihanna.
If I were to just give her like a small gift, didn't cost anything, I would 100% make her like a baked good or some kind of treat, homemade, made with her in mind. She's got a sweet tooth.
Maybe that's where I got that from.
So brownies or banana pudding or something along those lines. It's hard to answer the like limitless question because my first instinct would be to like, for most people would be to say like, oh, like I want them to never have to work again, to just be able to have like a posh life, maybe somewhere exotic, like, I don't know, something exciting, like another country. I don't know, something like that. Because Emily's so passionate about her work, not working at all is really not. I feel like that wouldn't be the best option for her. I do feel like something more along the lines of giving her more time, both for work or for play or for whatever else, like something like her never having to worry about cleaning her house again, like a house, like, paying for like housekeepers or like a personal shop or like something along those lines, because I feel like, just like taking some kind of task off of her plate, giving her more time, less things to think about, I think would probably be my route.
I think the gift of time is a wonderful gift for anybody. I mean, I think it'll have to be part of my gift. My gift would be like unlimited airfare all over the world.
Yes.
I feel he would love that. I feel like all she ever wants to do is explore every corner.
Yes.
And that ain't cheap, but it requires time. So it would be like a bundle gift, I think. I think the gift would have to bundle with time and unlimited travel. I feel like people who should be recipients of the gift of the whole world and being able to access it in so many ways, like she would also just be so hungry and enthusiastic about like all the different cultures and foods, and like you don't waste a gift. Yeah, you don't waste a gift like that on just anybody.
Emily, I wish that I could give her an endless vacation because she works so hard, in her job, her personal life, like with her community, like everything that she does. Like if I could just give her an endless vacation where, she could just vacation anytime she wanted and like come back to work whenever, or like, because she even takes all of her work and everything with her when she vacations.
Of course she does.
Yeah, I wish I could gift her that so she could have like the best of both, because I know she really enjoys the work that she does and everything that she does, but I know she loves a good vacation, but she doesn't take them as much as she needs and deserves.
So I'm sure you know this, but she like loves cats. I mean, just all she does is scroll on Instagram and it's just like cat after cat after cat. I'm like, yeah, but and that's what like turns her on about him, I think. Like she can't, like he ignores her, like just rejects her, like just walks by and she's like, oh my God, you give me that loving. So like that drives her crazy. Like she picks him up and tries to just squeeze the life out of him. He hates it. He does. And he stays away from her because of that. She craves him that much more because of it. And like it doesn't matter what type of cat it is, naked cat, cat with a tail, like it doesn't matter.
Cat with
Cool
a tail,
cat.
all of
I
them.
tried to be a cool cat and it worked. But so I would get her like either like a zoo or some kind of just home for cats, like that, and then like
my man would buy me a zoo,
a garden, because she loves plants too.
Well, it gets better.
I think that's like really like where she can clear her mind and kind of just be free for a little bit, because with the work she does, it is stressful. Like it's a job that never stops. It's just ongoing. Like it, even working from home, you don't know when to cut it off, and even like I said, there are days off. You're still working because you're involved with what's going on in the world. You know what I mean? What's going on in society. So how do you ever get a day off from that when you're in it? You don't. So like dealing with plants, and when she waters her plants and stuff, that really is like her free time, her time to kind of get away. I think.
I love that so much. In my obituary, I literally have, she loved spending time outside and with her abundant plant collection.
Oh, that's lovely. And now he's going to toss some cats in there, too.
That's me. And yes, the cats. Like, get me a zoo.
Absolutely.
That is the nicest thing anyone's ever done for me. Is he going to hire staff?
Trey's got it under control.
Well, just in general, like if you get me a zoo and then I have to deal with it, that's labor for me.
That's true.
I think he just wants you to water the plants.
Okay.
When
he
you
wants
feel
you to
like
love the cats. Like go give
love
cuddles.
the cats and water the plants
when you want to.
I'm here for it. That sounds
the zoo
like my
has
dream
a
job.
Zookeeper. Yeah. When you were laughing at zoo, I was like, is she laughing because that's silly or because it's like the best thing ever? It's because it was like the best thing ever.
Both.
He's going to get you a staff. Trey knows. He seems very in tune.
Yes.
So that's amazing. So your friends told us you love rap battles. You loved jam bands.
Yes.
You loved pretty much everything but country music.
Yes.
But there's
accurate.
There's one person you love in particular.
Yes.
And so some people talked about that. So that's what this is.
She's also in my obituary.
Yeah, Rihanna's her number one, like, ride or die for sure, any day. When Rihanna had the Super Bowl, played the Super Bowl halftime show this year. That was an event for everyone on staff in honor of Emily and her love for Rihanna.
But I think if there was like any song, and even like in my car, my personal life, like if any Rihanna song comes on, it's Emily. Like hands down, she is Rihanna's number one fan. And I love that. She's ride or die for her.
But yes, she loves Rihanna. I know that she will cry through a whole concert and just be so excited that she exists. She loves her so much. Yeah.
And when Rihanna goes on tour, if somebody, aka Trey, doesn't buy her like multiple concert tickets to go see this person perform, I guess I should probably do that too. I should go see Rihanna with her. I feel like that would be an experience. I'll probably won't ever forget that Super Bowl because the texts that were coming through second by second for this past Super Bowl, it was an anticipated night already for most people. And me and Emily, well, Emily is way more of a football person, but this year when Rihanna was going to perform, you know, it was going to be amazing. We were like, she's probably going to announce her tour. As soon as she came out, I saw the bump and I was like, oh God, oh Emily, my soul crushed for her because Emily didn't get an album or a tour, and she's been waiting like 5 or 6 years now.
I remember vividly talking with her after the Super Bowl, and she was telling me how she was sobbing during the halftime performance just because she was looking at Rihanna, and I was cracking up.
I so remember when Rihanna had a tumble on a bird scooter, and I never heard the end of it. She was like, I'm never going to get on one. Like, Rihanna got really hurt, and yeah.
Okay, so what face does she make when Rihanna comes on?
Like, if she first hears it, she's like, like she had never heard Rihanna before. I'm like, you know what this is? She's like, it's a new Rihanna song, but it's not. It's because Rihanna hasn't made music in like 5 years, and she'll tell you about it. I'm not kidding you. We went to a Rihanna concert probably like back in 2015, 2016. And we had really good seats. It was in DC. We were like 8th row. And I mean, the place is packed. She cried the entire concert.
Like the whole thing.
That is so sweet.
Entire concert. I was like, you really, really love Rihanna.
She was in the presence of her queen.
Oh my goodness.
Was she also crying through the...
Yes, she was. Makeup coming down her face. She's like, just recording it. I'm like, okay, I see this is real for you.
Yes, there are videos of this.
Yes.
It would probably definitely be a Rihanna song. She loves Rihanna. I don't know if she mentioned that or if y'all know that. She loves Rihanna. So that would definitely be like anything Rihanna is going to get her out on the dance floor probably. And like, I just remember like back in the school dance days, you know, of like, cause she's, you know, we were cheerleaders. So we're always, you know, big and excitable, but like, I don't know that she, you know, where to do this, but like when I think of Emily getting excited about something, it's like, you know, hands up in the air, like, you know, mouth wide open, like, we are going out there, like, let's go, like, just a very big exuberance. That's excitable, Emily.
Y'all, I've never heard such a true thing. Like, listen to this. My obituary literally says, and if you lost her on a night out, you could guarantee that she was somewhere dancing, parenthesis, probably to Rihanna.
That's amazing.
It's true, and I love that they know this about me because, like my kickball song, we all got to choose a song when we came out for kickball. Like, my song was Rihanna.
Which one?
I don't remember. I think I changed it week to week.
Okay, fair. There's just too many good ones.
Right. And then it changed to Meg Thee Stallion. But like either way, like, Rihanna is my queen.
Yes.
And the fact that I don't expect them to not know this about me.
Sure.
But the fact that all of them brought that up,
it's important.
chef's kiss.
It's so important.
It was so impressive.
This is me crying to Rihanna on April 28th, 2013. The video, I think, is on my computer, but like, we were right up there with my girl. This is a terrible picture, but like, we were 8th row, and my caption says crying my eyes out. I love Rihanna. And you can, like, I wish this was visible. You can see this man behind me. Well, who is very upset. He's like, if this girl does not calm down, I paid a lot of money to be here.
To be in the 9th row of a Rihanna.
No, but he was in the 9th.
behind me.
Or
He
at
was
least
in the
9th or 10th.
You're right.
Yeah.
He was very upset.
That's
so
You might have to send us that picture so we can put it.
We'll add
on
it.
this.
We'll add
There's
it.
a
Yeah.
video somewhere of me just like sobbing, like hysterically.
If
Yes,
you
please.
find it, just hit share.
Don't worry.
And that's okay. But that's accurate. You cry.
It is.
So what is it about Rihanna?
I just love her. I don't give a fuck attitude.
Yeah.
Like, I have always been a Rihanna music fan, but it was something about when Rihanna. So let me even back it up. It even became more personal for me when Rihanna and Chris Brown, that domestic violence situation happened, and she really like took control of her own narrative and her own situation. For me, I was in a family that domestic violence was prevalent in, and I was like, you know what? Like, you don't have to, I mean, you're a victim of this situation, but you're a survivor, and like you have control over this narrative. And for me, it was like who she became after that spoke so much to me as a person, but also like she just makes the best music ever. Right. And 5 years later, I'm still listening to her last album. And I know that she's had 2 babies, but if she doesn't give me an album soon, I'm not going to make any threats.
I was going to say, what are you going to do to Rihanna?
I'm not going to make any threats, but like, I'm going to get upset.
Yeah.
I'm going to be real upset.
You're going to cry for real, not happy
gonna,
tears.
Like, maybe not cry. I'm going to maybe like protest outside her house.
Yes. Okay. I'm ready.
Yeah. So she's my gal. I love her. And if I don't get some music from her soon, we're going to feel it. Like Super Bowl Sunday was a big deal because I was like, oh,
we heard
this is where we get the announcement of our tour. And then she unzipped that jacket and was pregnant. And I was like, damn it. What did I do to deserve this? And I know all my friends were like, Emily, she's happy. She's having a family. And I'm like, this is about me. This is not about Rihanna. Why would she do this to me specifically?
Could she tour and then get pregnant? Like that. There are ways to plan these things.
If Rihanna, if you're listening, I am your number one fan. And if you don't give me a damn tour, I'm going to be really upset.
Oh, okay. So that was fun to learn about you. But we also learned about just that you're just a fun-loving gal. Is one of the things that we learned.
And if Rihanna had some scooter trouble and you were never going to get on one, I'm not going to say. Only because Beth can play it, but I am going to say liar, liar, pants on fire. Let's see what happens next.
And what it could be. I love so many things.
I don't know. I can't tell you. I can't remember.
Oh.
What face do you think she would make if she saw a cat?
Oh, a very excited one. She's obsessed with cats. She would be so excited. We've actually had a lot of conversations about the Lowe's cat here in Richmond.
Francine
lives at one of the Lowe's locations here in Richmond, and her name is Francine. And I remember talking to her about how excited she was when she met Francine in person. There's Instagrams dedicated to this cat.
Oh, wow.
She was
I'll have to look that up.
very excited to meet the local celebrity.
Okay. I was going to say, do you think she follow us on Instagram, Francine?
She's gonna make the most excited face about a cat. That her entire body will react in an excited manner to that. You will just be able to read her from head to toe about how excited she is to see the cat.
I'm so excited to talk about Francine. I have a whole like artwork on my wall of Francine. Aww. They took Ryan Myers is the artist. He took the Robert E. Lee Monument out of the middle of Monument Ave and put Francine in the middle of it. So it says Richmond's hardest working Lowe's employee.
That's amazing.
And just as Francine in the middle of Monument Avenue. I have not been able to find the right size frame to frame it, but like she's going to be framed and put on my wall soon. She's living her best life.
Yeah.
I had to go to Lowe's yesterday and I dreaded it. And then I was like, oh, wait, I get to see Francine.
Do you take treats for her and stuff?
No, but maybe I should.
Imagine you're Emily. So embrace your inner Emily, and a cat walks by.
Probably. She's probably going to follow the cat and see where the cat goes and talk in like her cat voice like she does with her own cat.
Oh, Benson.
And she's going
Visceral
to
reaction.
love that cat even if the cat is mean to her.
It's all the same. Oh my goodness. And she'll make that those are her 3 words. Oh my, if it's a cat, oh my goodness. I just want to hold him. And like I said, it doesn't even matter what kind of cat it is. It could be a little house cat, a tiger. She always says, I'll probably get murdered petting something that I shouldn't. And I'm like, I could see that happening. Yeah.
Her cat does not really like many other people. I thought he liked me for a little bit during COVID. We like booped, and that was like a big thing in their household. We played with some paper balls.
Aw.
But then I hissed at him, and ever since I hissed at him,
he's like, nope.
He never forgot it. And so anytime I would come to their house, like he'll cry like one time when he sees me. I'm like, okay, we're back on good terms, Benson. And then he just hisses all over again.
I think that's the episode title.
That's my MO.
Yeah. I mean, he did give her cat scratch fever, but that seems like so traumatic, and she still loves that cat.
Yeah.
Like, I went to her house like back in the summer for a little bit, and I saw him, and he meowed and then hissed and like ran away. But I think that's just his personality now.
Yes, I did sort of meet Benson. He normally hid when I would go over.
I mean, what did she think was going to
normal
happen?
for Benson? But Emily and I had so many conversations sitting out on the porch about how people would come over, try to be like, oh, he'll like me, and try to befriend Benson, and barely lived to tell about it that I listened, because I listen when people talk, especially when Emily talks. And I did not. I hardly looked at him. I said, Emily, you're his person, and if you tell me, like, I'm not, even if I consider myself a cat whisperer, I was not about to go and be like, I'm gonna be the one, because I believe her. Yeah, she always talked about various people being like, oh no, it'll be fine, and they always get swatted and they always bleed, and she's like, what did I tell you? So I listened. I got the instructions, I got the directions, and I said, yes ma'am. And we're fine. So I lived to tell about it.
So this was
Emma's allergic.
like years ago. This was, I think Emily was still in college, I want to say, when this happened. But Benson, there was a stray cat that we had on our back porch at the time. I think he was pretty beat up. You could tell he had been through some pretty rough stuff. But anyway, Emily being Emily, saving the world one day, one cat at a time. She goes out there and she's like, this cat's beat up. I'm going to feed it. I'm show it some love. Yada, yada, yada. Now, to be fair, she did call, it wasn't the Humane Society, but she called somebody and was like, hey, there's this stray cat out here.
Animal control.
It's hurt pretty bad.
Yeah.
I think y'all should come take a look at it. And they were like, no, we can't do that for whatever reason. So
they did.
She took matters into her own hands. She went out there and she tended to the cat. And she comes back inside and, Benson, he, I guess, smells the other cat on Emily. And he does not like it.
At all.
No. So he gets, hunched up, the hunched up back, the fluffy tail. All the signs of this cat is about to lose its shit. So
visual.
He is making weird noises at this point. I'm getting ready for work. And he has Emily like cornered in the kitchen. And I mean, he is like so I've never seen Benson so upset. Oh my goodness. So he like making all these weird noises. I'm brushing my teeth and I just hear Emily scream like the most, it was just petrifying to scream. I was like, oh my God. I run in there. She has Benson latched on her leg, like her shin, like claws in her calf muscle, teeth in her skin. And he finally lets go. She shakes him off. He finally lets go. And I mean, like, he penetrated. She had to go to the hospital. She had got infected with, what exactly was it? It was some kind of, I don't know what it was, but the bacteria from the claws and his infection. Teeth left an infection. He got put on house arrest. I was like, he's not going anywhere, but whatever. Okay. But I mean, it was.
I'm like, this is a house cat.
Like, where's Benson going?
Cats could do damage, but I didn't know it could be severe. And it's funny because we talked about this yesterday, and I was like, it's crazy to believe that, you know, we just have this little furry creature walking around our house who doesn't speak or anything at all. But I was like, and it's even crazier to think that you got viciously attacked by it and it's still here. Because if that had been me, some decisions would have had to been made. I know you love cats, but damn it, this cat's got to go or it's going to be me.
I was like, it's not his fault.
Silky agreed. Like everyone we talked to about Benson, she was like, that cat would have been gone.
Yeah.
Like, that cat would have been out of my house.
Yeah. Every single person is like, why do you still have Benson? And I'm like, to be fair, he is a wild animal. And
is he a wild animal?
I mean, I got him off Craigslist. So
that's the thing we did not know about Benson.
I think so. Yeah. So let me give you the backstory about Benson.
Benson came up hard, huh?
This is all really important
he
to
came
know.
Up on the streets.
I grew up with cats and I grew up with dogs and it was fine, whatever. My dad took care of them. When Trey and I started dating, Trey was like, we should get a cat. I was like, this black man wants a cat. Okay. And instead of going to our perfectly good humane society that we have in Lynchburg, because they've got tons of cats.
It's great, yeah.
Right? It's a great place.
Yep.
I went to Craigslist and I found this cat for $10. And I was like, hell yeah, I'm getting this cat for $10. He's super cute.
From a person who sells a cat on Craigslist for $10.
So
like,
it was worse than that.
So many red flags.
You know the fire station on Fort Avenue, like right beside the basketball court?
Mm-hmm.
It was the big house right beside it, right beside the fire station on Fort Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
Hoarder house. We walked in and we were like, oh my God. And there were cats everywhere.
And like they just needed some
tens
eggs.
of 20s of cats, like just cats running
like
everywhere.
I was getting rich at $10 a pop.
And I was like, oh my God, what did we get ourselves into?
Or they like needed eggs. They're like, which one of you gotta go?
Yeah.
We need eggs.
Pretty much.
I don't know.
And they handed us this cat. Like we didn't have a carrier. We didn't have we did not come prepared to get a cat. They put a cat in our hands and we were like,
here's $10.
All right, here's $10. We got this cat. And we took him into our car.
Oh my God.
He, first of all, jumped so hard into the windshield, trying to escape that he bounced back. And we were like, oh, he's dead. This cat we just bought for $10 is now dead because he just concussed himself on the windshield. And then we get him home.
Oh my God.
He's got fleas and fleas and then some, his fleas had fleas.
Oh my God.
We had fleas for months. Fleas, trying to get rid of these damn fleas from this demon cat that we paid $10 for on Craigslist.
Who's now multiply concussed. This cat has a different personality now than when you picked him up.
Because he just tried to kill himself in our car.
Yeah.
So, to be fair,
you didn't.
This is all Trey's fault. This is all Trey's fault.
I see that line.
Trey wanted this cat.
That's a good linear.
He wanted a cat.
A
to
cat.
be fair,
And
you went on Craigslist to get the cat.
I did. I don't know why I wasn't like, you know what? Let's go to the Humane Society where we can adopt a cat. They'll have a microchip, all these things. I was like, let's get this cat off Craigslist where murderers go to take people into their homes.
Oh my God.
And here we are at 18 and 20 walking into a hoarder home with this trying to get this kitten. He was 4 months.
That is too much.
And here his 11th birthday will be in April. And he's never wanted to be out of our house so much in his life. He loves Trey. I've never met, if me and Trey ever, end our relationship, he's got to go with Trey. I can't take him with me. He loves him some Trey.
Aww.
He does not respect me. He does not listen to me. Trey will look at him and he'll be like, oh, my bad. But the other day he was in my closet. Yesterday he was in my closet and I'm looking everywhere for him. And I move my clothes back and he comes running out of the closet because I spotted him. But I'm yelling at him. Does not take me seriously. Trey will come in the closet and be like, Benson. And he'll look at Benson and Benson will meow, and he'll just run out. Benson knows Trey's dad. I think he thinks I'm either his girlfriend or his kitten. But I'm not mom. I'll tell you that.
Anything but an authority figure.
Nothing. No, I do not matter. He does not care. When I was here at Lynchburg and went to Quebec for a summer for study abroad. And I came back home. I expected Benson to be like, oh my God, I missed you so much. And he was like, wow, I really thought you were gone for good. Like, what are you doing back in my house?
I loved the Quebec trip.
Oh my God, it was so good.
This
Truly
is a totally new dimension of Benson and
He's
of Trey, to
the
be
worst.
honest.
I cannot believe that I did not know that he was a $10 Craigslist.
We heard
is a
so many
$10
things about
Craigslist
Benson,
cat.
but we did not hear this.
Oh, yeah. $10 Craigslist fleece.
I didn't know you could sell an animal Craigslist.
Oh, for sure.
I had no idea.
I mean,
I guess
like you can
get
sell
on your
sperm
Lynchburg
and all
Craigslist.
kinds of weird shit on Craigslist.
I will not. But thank you for the
Does
recommendation.
Craigslist still exist?
Yeah.
What are you buying off there these days?
Nothing legal.
I'm looking for apartments.
Oh, bless your heart.
Hoping maybe it's a slumlord individual and not a slumlord company.
Or a serial killer company, or
oh my God,
Jeffrey Dahmer me, baby.
This is a lot. This is my face hurts again. I don't know why.
Oh my God.
All right. So you were worried about, Emily, what kind of, or you were worried they wouldn't tell crazy stories.
Yes.
I feel like the way you feared that, they didn't go all the way crazy because we didn't hear anything like truly too much. So if you'd like to supplement the upcoming stories, please feel free. Yeah, we're here for that.
Let's hear it.
Right.
Why not?
And I'm kind of jealous because I'm more of like a reserved person, but I think that's because maybe in the back of my mind I'm thinking like, well, how will people react if I react this way? And she's just like, I don't even care. I'm not do it. Take it or leave it, It is what it is. So, it's a lot
Trey's
of
talking
fun.
about kickball
Don't get
right
me
now.
wrong. I'm a fun guy, but I don't think losing all the time is that fun. So, I think it's not that I'm overly competitive. I'm just more competitive than most of the players that are on the team, I believe. It is loads of fun, though. Now, I don't want to lose every game. Like, can we make it competitive somehow?
Trey,
I'm like,
no
I know we
fun.
can be good. It's just like, y'all it's too much fun out here. Let's get a little competitive.
Emily is a big drinking scooter person.
Come on, Jeff.
I don't follow her behavior if she's drinking and gets on a scooter. I have video proof and picture proof of not to get on a scooter with Emily.
Well, you obviously have the scooter story. She also has another scooter story that kind of came up. This one not as tragic as that one. So her and a friend, they had gone off to I can't remember which brewery it was downtown, but
Three Roads
they went
Brewery
off and had
on
come
Main
back
Street.
in the evening, and she comes inside. She's like, hey, back home. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I've been texting you, like, where do you have your phone? I've been texting and calling just to see where you all are at. And she's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I have my phone. So she's looking in her purse, she's checking her pocket. She's like, oh my God, I had my phone in my pocket while I was scootering on the way home. So she instantly runs out the house, can barely get the words out of her mouth, and she's like, I gotta go, I'll be back. She gets back on the scooter, heads up the road in the middle of the night, and I'm like, didn't take anybody with her. I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't get in touch with her because she doesn't have her phone. She goes back, she finds the phone, she comes back. I'm like, look,
thanks to my
next
Apple Watch.
time, please let me just go with you, so that way we're on one accord, and I don't have to worry about what's going on, or like if you're okay and all those things, because I worry. I do.
If it was a mixed drink, something with tequila. She loves tequila. Yeah, IPA is something hazy IPA, but it's funny we're talking about this because we were texting and like Emily has forever been like the IPA drinker of the group. She's a ride or die for a hazy IPA. Like that's her, like this girl can buck back. We were texting recently because I've kind of gotten off beer recently and I'm like, I'm on to wine and Prosecco. Like, what are you drinking these days? And she was like, I haven't drank an IPA in like months, and like I've drank some wine. And she was like, I'm just drinking like she likes stouts and some darker beers.
I love stouts. Mm-hmm.
So
don't make that face, Beth. The stouts are good.
That's fine. She can like what she
Emily's changing. Emily's changing.
The world and her beverage choices.
And she gets to experiment with her beverages, and that's okay. As long as Emily's happy, we're all happy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The only genre of music that Emily will not listen to is country. She won't listen to country music. Anything else, play it. Fair game. Country music.
I loved hearing her talk about her and Trey having like 2000s rap revisits of albums that I hadn't listened to in a long time. So if I hear something like that, it always makes me think of her. She'll text me if she's listening to Mariah Carey because she knows that's one of my favorites. There was that series of when a bunch of rap battles were happening, and I feel like her and Trey were really excited about looking at those, and she would be posting about them. And some people I didn't even know who they were, but I was like, she was really excited about it, and I love that.
Oh, I love
It's amazing.
I love this so much. It's so funny that Trey shares that story because I was just thinking about that recently. I literally remember getting back home and being like, oh my God, where's my phone? And I hop back on that scooter and you know how your watch has this option where you can hit the button and it'll ping your phone.
Yep.
So I'm riding my scooter around downtown Lynchburg, hitting this thing on my watch, trying to find my phone. It had fallen out of my pocket on Court Street.
Oh my gosh.
I don't actually even know why I was on Court Street. Because when you think about where Three Roads Brewing is on Main Street, I lived right above Scene 3. So I should have just came down 12th Street and then on to Main Street. So I'm not sure why I was on Court Street, but my phone was on Court Street. And in the middle of the road, thank God it didn't get run over by a car. But I remember Trey being really get your life together. What are you doing?
Well, also, but you had your life together, right? You're like, I don't need to stop and talk to you about this. I'm gonna go get my phone. You know,
I know where to find it. Don't worry.
You weren't there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get it.
I got this. Don't worry about it. And Trey's I could have helped you find, which is, it's so funny because it's so Trey and it's so who he was today of you know what? You need my help. And I'm actually I don't, but if you want to come along,
right.
Hop on.
And if he had driven you there, he would have run over your phone. That's
he would have ran over my phone.
Yeah, that's how you would have found it.
So I just needed to scooter about a bit.
I hear you're the queen of it.
I would want Emily to know that her presence has so much purpose, and that is definitely one of her powers. That she is, again, because she approaches everything like a lifelong learner and doesn't have this sort of arrogant competence about anything. She is an asset in this space. This space needs people like Emily. And this space needs more people who have done the work, been in the work, and have worked really hard to understand it and aren't just riding by any sort of generational wealth or means. And I think I admire so much her. I think something else I'd want to know is that she's a cycle breaker, and it's really cool to be in community with other cycle breakers. I think there's a lot out of this generation, people who are breaking cycles that were inherited. And so she does that work. She does that liberatory work every day, and I would want to make sure she knew that.
Yes, and that's the biggest thing I push on is it's not going to get fixed by tomorrow, like you said. So just do what you can and know that everything you do, it may not seem like it today, but it is changing things, bit by bit. And, the work that you do and the work that you're putting in is being noticed. And that, like I said, it's just all amazing. It's just keep going. Don't stop. Do get that rest, but don't stop.
Kind of going back to how outspoken she can be and just unafraid to speak her mind, whether it's how she's feeling personally, emotionally, or whether it's about things going on in the world, globally, or things right here in our community. I don't think that she realizes that people do actually listen to what she's saying and take it as value. And I don't, I think because we all, speak our minds and things like that, but sometimes I don't think that she realizes that she really does know what she's talking about. She's very capable and her words have impact. She has a lot of experience, especially in her job, working in state politics and things like that. And, the types of things that she talks about, whether it's on social media or whether it's, when we're together in a group, she makes me think and see different perspectives. And I think just because it's her personality and she's so used to being that way, I don't think she realizes that she really is sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Not a role model, but like almost like an influencer in that way. Like the type of thing she says does influence people and may make someone, better understand the way the foster system works, or, I just feel like she doesn't give herself enough credit when it comes to her, credibility.
She's so smart, and she is so dedicated to like continuing to learn and study. And anytime she's ever sent me a work thing that she was working on, send me like newsletters or whatever she was working on, the content, I was just like, I love reading this, and I barely even understand what you're saying, like as it's being explained to me, much less like to know like the background and like being able to put all that stuff together and stuff. So yeah, I trust her on any and all like social work related issues. I'm just like, I know she knows what she's talking about, and I really admire that.
Emily is just the kind of person that you know you can always go to, whether you need advice, you need help with something, to talk through a problem. Like she's just always there, and like happy to help you with those things. And it doesn't seem to matter how busy she is, how hard she's been working, like what is going on her end. She's always happy to be there for her friends. I really appreciate that about her. I just really appreciate the type of work that she does. I think it's very admirable that she has chosen to do the type of work she does. I don't know very many people off the top of my head that I can say are in a job where they are making a difference every day. And that's definitely something that I could say about Emily's job. And she could have picked a million different jobs and probably better paying jobs. But she's choosing to do something that she believes is right and is helping people. And I just find that very admirable, and inspiring to others, to me, to want to be making those same choices in my life, to be helping others in the day to day.
It makes me feel important because she's taken time out of her such busy schedule to text me or, think of something, or if she comes into a room, like she's taken time out of her day to either see me or text me. And I think that just says who Emily is as a person. Like she's such a busy person, and I feel lucky to be a friend of hers and to have her in my life. And she makes me feel important.
But that's one thing I really admire about her, and a lot of times too, just because of where we grew up and a lot of people that kind of surrounded us and are in our circles, it's not always as easy to speak up about certain things because not everyone's gonna agree with what she says. So I think she's been very brave and courageous just to say how she feels about things and not worry what people think.
To be successful, I think, in this space, in the space of policy, in the face of legislators who many, especially the more tenured ones, have a lot of ego, requires a ton of audacity and boldness and like courageous use of voice, which I've loved seeing her grow in ever since she joined us. She was like immediately, at least it seemed immediately fearless, although knowing her now, I'm sure she like interrogated and had so many like inner dialogues and feelings of
Kristen's a therapist.
Or anxiety.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But immediately it was like she brought a fearlessness to like, I'm gonna have this conversation because I don't care about this old white man's opinion of me. I care about my partners getting the things that they need so that they can start in life. Like that's what she cared about. She cared, and so to me it's not a balance. I think he leans heavy on big voice and have to in this industry, I would say, especially as a younger woman. It's very much needed. So
Like I think she knows, but I'll tell her like she knows I love and adore her. She goes above and beyond, whether it's on her job, like what she does just around here, at home.
Loading the dishwasher.
The proper way.
I'm like, you're like a superhero. I don't know how you have that much energy to do that many things. I'm like, for what you do, just sitting here like on a computer and just hitting these keys and like changing lives. Like I'm
That's
like,
what he thinks I do.
Like, and I speak for me.
Changing lives.
I don't have the mental capacity at all. Like I would have been burnt out after like a week of doing this. I would have been like, no, you know what? I work in a factory. Like I work in warehouses because I just know, like I could never ever do anything like that. I would be so exhausted and so burnt out. And she just goes day after day, like I said, after hours, like even when she's not on the clock. It's truly amazing to see. But at the same time, it's kind of like, I get it, but I want you to like reserve yourself too, because you keep going and going. Like I don't know how long you're gonna be able to handle it. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I know the thing she's doing is amazing, and at the same time, it's like, you kind of gotta give yourself peace of mind sometimes, and it's just hard for her to do. Yes, it's very hard for her to do because she's so passionate. Like if she would do this for no money, you know what I mean? Like that's how passionate she is about it. Like she does do it for no.
Also true. Like
she does it for actually no money. Yeah.
Literally just got a promotion this week and I'm still making no money. So
he's like, as I think about it, that's not a hypothetical. Like,
yeah,
he's like she currently does it for no money. So my favorite thing is you said you're a crier, but none of that surprised you.
I'm
It's
like
great.
I'm trying to like find these tears inside of me.
Don't-
Like,
you
why am
don't
I not
have to,
crying?
yeah.
But like, I don't know. It just brings me so much joy to see my people like see this in me.
Right.
And it's so funny how they all said different things, but very much all said the same thing.
Yep, that's exactly right. That's exactly
We
right.
were like, is this going to be repetitive? And then as we were doing it, we are like, oh no, they all like it's the same but so different.
But
like
so
such a
because your
different angle.
relationships are different, with each of them, and because they tell you all the time. For older folks, I think, or maybe it's not generational, maybe I'm just putting that on it. We don't hear that all the time, but if you have people around you who are constantly like building you up, it seems like at work, for example, Kristen, like you build each other up.
It's amazing.
Yeah, you acknowledge what other people bring,
Yeah.
and it certainly, of course, it's nice to hear it all in one place, but it's not a shock.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
You
I
know
think
you're doing that.
Right. I think it is to an extent generational, at least that like now folks are like, oh, there's so much bad stuff happening in the world. Like maybe we should love each other a little more. Like we take time in our staff meetings to like, we talk about awesome successes and gross injustices. And like, we've got a ton of gross injustices, but like our awesome successes as we go around the table and celebrate each other, like that is how we start our staff meetings. Like that is the way we talk to each other to say like, yeah, there's a lot of bad shit going on, but like, wouldn't it be great if we celebrated the good things that we have, or like go around and talk about how much we care and love about each other and like the things that we're doing. And I really try to do that in my personal life with my friends, and it just makes me really, really proud and really, really happy that like they see that and they reciprocate it.
Right.
Yep.
Right? Like we have built this connection on like we love each other.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Absolutely.
most of my conversations with Jess are us complaining about like all the bad things in the world, and then I'd be like, but wait, listen to this really cool thing that just happened, or like look at this great jacket I just bought. Like I know the world is heavy, but like let's take a minute and let's celebrate,
But
and
this
then we can
denim
go
is
back to like
sweet. Yeah.
commiserating.
Yeah.
But it really is an amazing thing. I think, I hate to say it's generational. I don't think it's generational. I think it's just like a now thing of like, we are so connected to all the terrible things that are happening around us all the time that like so many of us are really grasping for just little tidbits of joy. And when you realize like you're the only ones that can really produce that, you lean into it.
Yeah.
To an extent.
Yeah, produce it. And I think there are plenty of older people who might listen to this and be like, you do what at your staff meeting? Like,
Yes.
What
My
a waste
brother's
of time.
like, excuse me. Like he works in tech and he's like, we start our meetings and we deal with our stuff that we need to do for work and we move on. Yeah. And it's like, no, we spend the first 30 minutes of our staff meeting like connecting. We do like get to know you questions. Like we've all worked together for 2 years now. We know each other, but like we're going to continue to connect personally because that's how we build compassion and empathy for each other.
And it takes so little time.
Yes.
But it makes you want to go back.
Yes.
It's so simple.
And sometimes I'm like, can we get on with this fucking meeting? Like,
could this have been an email?
Yeah, like 40 minutes have passed and we now all know what our favorite summer memory is. I've got fucking work to do.
Right.
And then I'm like, you know what, Emily, your work can wait.
Right.
Your connection with people is forever.
Yeah. Absolutely.
She doesn't have like a master's of public policy. She didn't get a master's degree, and but still forged her way into this space of leadership and mental health policy in Virginia through her commitment, her research, through trying twice as hard as anybody else would simply because she did not have that degree. And Emily, and so because she comes with that, she also has, I think, it's a skill. If you're a policy wonk, you sometimes don't have this skill. The ability to speak to the common person about what policy is and how it works. That to me is one of her superpowers. If ever I need something explained, more concisely and without jargon and with the context necessary to make me feel even a little bit fluent in it, Emily is who I go to first, because she's just really talented and has helped us sort of pave the way for that culture a little bit more.
And like, I definitely want her to know that she's an awesome person. She's come so far in life. She had a lot of adversity in life that I think could have stopped her or held her back. But I think that she really showed that like, no matter where you come from, you can still make an amazing life for yourself. And you can still, you can, like, whatever your past is not your future, and you can make your own path. And I think that she just really like took that. I think she took her experiences and made the absolute best out of it as an adult. And it's been awesome to see her kind of blossom into that and just see the person she's become today.
Not only do I admire and respect her for her opinions and the things that she does to work towards a better society and, helping everyone to be included in that, but I also genuinely feel like it inspires me to I'm such an indecisive person. I feel like she really inspires me to really educate myself so I can be informed and then have those strong opinions as well, which is hard for me. And obviously to inspire me to do the same, like to, be voting and encouraging others to vote and to know what's going on in those worlds, to be a part of that and not just to be a casual bystander that I feel like so many people are.
She is so special because everything she does, she puts her heart into it and is just so committed to improving the lives of others and empowering people. I never thought I'd be able to say I could call on my neighbor when I'm crying and need someone to hug. Usually you think a good neighbor will just give you a cup of sugar. So we've shared
we do that too.
a lot together, and I am just really, really grateful to have her in my life. She truly makes the world a better place every single day, and I'm so glad that she's here and that I get to be in her orbit. So I love you, Emily, and Audrey does too. Bye.
Like, I think the longer and longer we all go on this journey together of living our life more than we are working, the better we all are for it. So I'm really, really grateful to have a peer like Emily who I can have these kinds of conversations with. I think we've both like unlearned a lot and are relearning new ways. And as we move into positions of leadership, we get to pass that on to anybody after us. And that's all self-care is. It's community care and having a boundary so that people after you can also have a boundary and people after them can also have a boundary. I'm so grateful to be working alongside her. I'm glad she's on my side.
I'm really proud of who she is and who she's become, and I'm so happy that we've been able to again reconnect this past year and just kind of like rediscover that friendship and all the things that we have in common, because I think that we have a lot to offer each other, as companions, and it's an exciting time, and I just want to remind her that, no matter what she's feeling, like she's accomplished a lot. She's a successful woman, and she should always be proud of herself and never doubt herself.
Most men probably would be intimidated by that, and I'm not ashamed to say it.
It's worth repeating.
She's the leader. I know the social norm is for the man to take charge and, always be the voice, but I think the woman needs to take charge and, needs
He was
to
like, I
be
come
the
from a
lead,
family of strong women. I'm
with
not.
the strong man behind
new.
her,
Yes.
so
He's like, you mean men have opinions?
I've told
Do I have to
plenty
get
of people that that's just how I feel, honestly. She's the leader. She's out here changing the world, one step at a time, day by day, even when she's not on the clock. Oh yeah, and she knows I'm her number one fan. She has my full support. It's when she told me, she had gotten this job
she
in
got a job
Richmond,
in
I was like, let's
Richmond.
go. Let's do it.
You had no idea.
You the front runner here. You want to go? Let's go. I'm willing to go. Let's do it. I know the work that she does, it's not a gimmick. It's passion. It is authentic. So if she's willing to move forward, then I know nothing but good can come from it.
God. You have good people.
Great people.
Those are some of the best people in the world. Yeah. Truly. I just don't even have the words. Everything that they just sat there and said, I know they would say to my face. And I also know that as soon as they started saying it to my face, I'd be like, stop. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. So now to be sitting here and forced to listen to those things, it really is a blessing, in all the shapes and forms of what blessings can be, to just really be surrounded by people that believe in you and are your cheerleaders. And it's so funny. I saw this meme recently that was we should go to work with our best friends so we can actually figure out what they do. And none of these people, with the exception of Kristen, really know what I do on the day to day, and they believe in it with their whole hearts. They're you know what? Emily could be lying to me about what she goes to work and does every day, and I trust her in it. And that's just
feels good.
Yeah, there's something to be said for the fact that when your work is important to the people that are in your life and they don't even understand your work, you're doing something for everyone. Yeah. This is not for me. I don't get paid nearly enough to do this work. I have thought several times over the last year, do I sell my soul to go work for a paid lobbyist company, a government firm, and make 6 figures and do this same work that I'm doing and make a bunch of money for it? And every single time I'm like, Emily, you're not going to sell your soul to the highest bidder and pay to play to do this work. You were doing this work for people. And I think that just that reassured me, I am in the right place at the right time. And then when I'm ready to be done with this work, that it's not all that I am.
Nope.
And I so appreciate them being Emily cares about all this, but it's not just because it's work.
Yeah. It's because they're human.
Man. What good folks. I love them all so very much. I do not deserve them. I do not deserve them.
Yes, you do.
Stop. You guys
deserve them,
each other.
and they deserve you. Like, it has been so
other.
refreshing, again, to see. And again, I have friends. I love my friends. I've got very good friends. I mean, I'm friends with a lot of people. I'm close friends with a few people, and I've got like my core folks. But I mean, other than making Beth uncomfortable today, like I don't, like I'm always like, oh yeah, they know that. Right. Like I do. Like I come from a generation of people who are like, I don't need to say that. Right. And I'm saying it so much more often and making people so much more uncomfortable. And I always make people uncomfortable in different ways. But like emotions are like a weird way, especially for me, who's like very like, don't touch me, get away from me. I love you, be you, but don't be you that close to me. But like and so it's a good feeling for me at this age to not be so stuck and like, I can't believe they're doing that. Do you hear them, Beth? They're telling each other these things.
Right.
And so instead of criticizing, it's just like, damn, I'm still learning. Like, and hopefully I can make those changes in my world so that, so that I can move forward in my job and in my life and have that integration.
Yeah. And you can hear that expansiveness and compassion and what they're saying around you. Do you know what I mean? Like they're all saying, as you said, they're all saying similar things, but they're not the same things. And they haven't pigeonholed you. They really are thinking of you as this whole person. And they're highlighting certain things about you, but they're not sort of, and one of the things we didn't include from Trey was he was like, she doesn't have to put herself in a box. I always tell her, don't put yourself in a box. Like you're not just one set of functions or one group of things. And so what I really love about, and I loved about talking to your friends and your people, is they had this just like, yeah, she's Emily. You know, like this really chill, but like so incisive and insightful view of who you were while allowing you to be who you are. And I think that's a beautiful way to have friendships, you know, and I think you create that with them. It's not like, oh, how did I stumble upon all of these these beautiful people? It's not an accident, you know, like you created this with them. So it teaches us. And we started this podcast not because we wanted to tell other people how we felt or because we were good at it. We were like, there should be more of this in the world. We're going to push other people to put it into the world because that's not my skill set at all. So I just love, like, I'm learning from all of the people that we invite onto the show. And I think the people you brought to us taught us a lot. So I'm really grateful for that.
So thank you.
Makes me just even more proud. Like, I'm proud that they're my people, but like I'm so proud that they get a chance to imprint on you all and on like the listeners of this podcast to be like, we're in a really shitty world with like really shitty things happening to us all around us all the time. And we can have communities that like love us and care about us and lift us up amongst all of the pain and all of the things. And like we can feel that together and we can find joy amongst ourselves too. Right. And so I'm so proud to have these people in my life. And I'm so proud that like they're willing to say nice things about me on camera.
They couldn't wait to say nice things about you on camera.
So excited to be like, hey y'all, thank you so much for all the kind things you said about me. And just knowing that, like, they're genuine people. Mm-hmm. And, like, they would not say that shit if they did not mean it.
It was clear. Yep.
And so for me, it's just like, like, share that with the world. Like, we can all, especially for Trey, acknowledging, like, he's the only dude in this video. Trey was like, am I the only guy that you have on here? And I'm like, yeah, actually, I think so. And just, like, we can let these walls down, right? Like we can be people.
You can be a strong black man who is his
behind
own person,
his
but
woman,
behind
a strong man behind
like
a strong woman,
and he's not ashamed to say that, and he doesn't think like doesn't have to apologize to anybody for it, and he
and I respect that so much in him. My favorite thing about Trey. Trey's like, if I could like quit my job and be a stay-at-home fiance, like that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Like,
stay-at-home Benson dad.
Yes. He's like, you know what? Trey's favorite thing to say is like, you know how some people are like, I'm running to the money? She's like, I'm running from the money. Like I want to run as far away from all of this as I possibly can. And it's so funny how we're so different, and we have just found this like niche with each other of like, Trey does not care about politics. Trey does not care about all these things, and yet he knows they are so deeply important, not just to me, but like I have shown them that they are important in his life, and they're important in like our broader society. And he's still very skeptical about like the world, as we should be. And no matter how much like I try to be like, I have the answers, Trey's like, actually you don't. And I'm like, you're right, I don't have any of the answers.
I have half the answers.
I have like a fraction. I have like my perception of the answers. But it's just, you know, him and all of my friends really, like Hannah said, like, I'm very much like, have you voted? Like, do you need to know about the candidates on your ballot? Like, can I talk to you about why voting is important? Like, my mom, for example, she's like, Emily, I did not go vote. And I lecture her, and then I'm like, we're going to try again next time. Like, I'm not going to beat you up about it. I'm going to lecture you, and then we're going to keep trying. We're going to keep at this until, like, you see that it's important. And so I appreciate all of my people for sticking along with me, because I'm probably not the most, like, I'm a lot of fun at parties, but, like, you have to get me there. I'm going to talk to you about politics first. Like, I'm going to make everybody at the bar uncomfortable. I'm going to, like, make you all think about some really deep things. Like, I'm a lot of fun until I'm not. And I appreciate all of my people here for sticking with me through both sides of me. Like, the fun and the not fun Emily.
But the not fun Emily is not like a mean, evil Emily. The not fun Emily is a thoughtful, I'm going to make you think because I do have this information and you don't. And much like Kristen said, you can break it down for people who may not want to know the inner workings of the policy, but they do want to know how it impacts people or what it means.
Exactly. And back to kind of what I said at the beginning of this, like, that is my favorite part of me in this work, is that, like, I took that other path and I was able to say, hey, actually real people are being impacted by this stuff. Let's break it down. And like, we are the real people. And I appreciate my people for caring about things when they really could just like look the other direction because it doesn't impact them directly.
It's easier not to. Absolutely.
And I'm so selective with my people too. Like, Trey will tell you, like, I've come across a lot of people that are cool friends. It's not my people. I'm like, that thing you said, red flag. Like, maybe not something we can just move past. And all of these people have been hand selected by me. They should be honored.
Absolutely.
It's a curated group of friends.
Feel honored too.
But they do. Well, I think what you said about like you and Trey being such different people, you know, maybe what this younger generation is doing is not discovering some new way of being, but returning to a way of being that people were before. Because this absolute polarization, this political polarization did not exist, you know, some decades ago when I was younger. And so, you know, there is more space to love each other and not feel like what you need in a partner is a mirror, like not a mirror image, but the exact sort of replica of yourself. Because how do you grow if the person you're with isn't a replica of you? And so with your friends, I see kind of the same thing. And maybe I'm wrong. I only talked to them for 30, 45 minutes. But you don't need a replica of yourself, but you need people who care, who are committed, who are compassionate, who are empathetic, who, you know, can hear you out even when they disagree with you. And that, like so many things that we do around gender and race and economics, it's so simple, but we make it hard. Like, you guys had to work and work and work and work to get back to, oh, I'm going to understand you for who you are, you know, and that to me, I think you have this like really lovely kind of field of friends who are allowed to be themselves and allow you to be yourself.
And who we're going to show
with
up
limits,
at.
right?
Oh, and we also learned that you can put artichoke on the best Rivermont pizza that we love so much.
Which we learned a lot about Rivermont pizza.
Which
I don't remember.
Pesto.
Oh, the
pesto. Chicken pesto. But Dave's a vegetarian, and she's like, "Oh, swap out the chicken for either vegan chicken now or artichokes."
Sometimes we do tofu, which we don't really eat a lot. But it's like, it's not chicken. But yeah, she told us about the artichoke option. I'm like, what?
I'm telling you.
Life-changing.
I'm telling you. Like, all of my people also have their own things that, like, contribute to me too.
Yeah.
Emma
Absolutely,
is like my craft. She works, I'm sure she told you, Ned's at Rivermont Pizza.
Yep.
She's like overall their craft beer. I love craft beer. Emma loves craft beer. We used to love to sit outside on our balcony on like a summer day and like open up a couple of craft beer and like split them and share them.
Yeah. She told us that. It was so cute.
Like though Emma is like your pizza, your craft beer queen. Hannah just made me some of the best banana pudding I've ever had in my life.
I'm so tired that I'm not even going to go down the banana pudding road, but I really want to.
Watch the Tarsha episode.
Yes. Oh, I have. I have never had her banana pudding, and I have to. I've heard you talk about it so many times, and I've been like, I have to have this banana pudding.
Broken
I am.
And like, now you're like, no, like it really saved my life. And I'm like, no, like I actually have to have this banana pudding. But Hannah made me a whole thing of banana pudding. Like she's our baker. She hosts like Dipmas and like Friendsgiving and like all these things.
We invited ourselves to game night.
Please come. Yes.
And
do
she
the
did
things.
talk about the 24-hour trip to New York. Like there's so many things we didn't get to include that we love. Whoa. But on that note, we love you, Emily.
We love you, Emily. I love y'all. Thank you for throwing me a fabulous funeral.
I know. It was like really long. It was like the extended remix version.
Holy shit.
It is a black funeral.
Yeah.
At this point.
Where is my hat?
My hat is bigger than yours.
So do you feel, so one of the things we want with a funeral is, so like in the tarot deck, the death card is not always bad. It signals a rebirth.
Yes.
So, but for some of our people, I think we've been
more birthed.
No. I think we have been surprised and pleased to be wrong.
Yes.
And that some people don't need a rebirth because they're paying attention the whole way. You know, and I think we started this podcast thinking, of course, everyone's like us. And
everyone's a middle-aged white lady.
The world is on the model of me, you know, and they need this reawakening and this rebirth. But for some people, like with you, like with Tarsha, I think, like, she is like, I'm ready to die. I think about it all the time, you know, and you're like, yeah, my friends, you know, tell me all the time. And when I tell them what I value, and I'm always kind of checking in with myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that even though you're doing this on the daily, that there was something worthwhile in this process for you in terms of just kind of taking a break to celebrate yourself. Yeah. Because that's what we wanted to do for you. You were, dude, we've done 3 podcasts. And you were on our top 3 list.
I know, right?
I was honored. I was like, excuse me, you 2 are my favorite people in the whole world. What do you mean you want me on your podcast?
You have to get Emily.
I literally texted my friend Kendall. But I was just like, you're not going to believe who just asked me to be on their podcast. Like, I have to celebrate this with someone who's going to understand. And Kendall was like, oh my God, like that is iconic. Like, you 2 are my role models, my mentors, my icons. I was like, yeah, I'll be dead on your podcast. Of course you can kill me off and talk to my friends. Why not?
Well, we're very grateful for it.
We adore you.
Well, the feeling is very mutual. Yeah. And I'm just really grateful to have this space. Again, like, death is something that has really shown itself in my life in the last year and then some. And it's one of those things that, like, you're a little uncomfortable with. But, like, when you get to approach it from this way, it's really comforting, actually. Yeah. It's like, wow, like, it doesn't have to be, I mean, it's going to be sad regardless, right? But, like, it doesn't have to be dim and grim. Like, we can approach this moment knowing that, like, we've said our piece. If something were to happen to me today, knock on whatever the hell else, that, like, nothing happens when I leave here. Right. That, like, I feel like all my people will be like, you know what? There was nothing that I left unsaid to Emily.
I love that.
And I hope that that's true.
Absolutely.
I absolutely love that.
Thank you, Emily.
We love you.
Y'all.
We love y'all back.
All right, so that is our episode for today. We hope that you enjoyed meeting Emily more, and I hope you can't wait to hear even more. We'll have a few mini episodes with Emily coming out pretty soon as well. So thank you for joining us. Beth and Virginia here at Welcome to Your Funeral Podcast. Hope you have an amazing day. We appreciate you hanging out with us, listening, watching. However you ingest our content, we're happy you're here. Remember, folks, love your people.